What's going on, everybody? TG here, back with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day today. A lot of big things have happened today, guys, especially with mRNA, which is the topic of this video. Which is the better buy? Is it Moderna or is it Pfizer? Now, here's the hard part about comparing these two. They both are working on something very similar, but they are also pretty different companies when you look at the broader picture. Now, mRNA is a largest biotech company in the world before it went public, and now it is turning into an all-out vaccine play, and that's the biggest reason why it's known. As you guys can see, mRNA hasn't had a positive quarter yet, and that is one of the things that is a little worrisome about the company, that they still haven't made a profit yet, and yet their market cap is about 40 billion. Whereas Pfizer, on the other hand, has obviously been one of the biggest companies in the world at a $207 billion market cap. And, is consistently making profit every quarter. 2 billion here, 3.4, 3.4. They actually lost money in this one, but then they went ahead and made 7.7 in that quarter. So as you guys can clearly see, this is a company that's obviously making money. It's a company that has a really good dividend, and it's a really solid company. But the company got beat down today, obviously, as Moderna announces that their effective percent on their new coronavirus vaccine is 94.5%. Whereas Pfizer's was only 90%. So what does that mean? Well, Moderna surges up over 10%. Pfizer drops almost 4%. So you have to ask yourself, what is the best company in this sense, and what company is going to have their vaccine the #1 vaccine? So I was reading into a lot of it, and obviously, our president, as of right now, Donald Trump, really likes Pfizer and has mentioned it a ton over these past couple months about who's going to have the vaccine. But there's also a couple other players in the game, and Moderna is clearly one of these big ones. Now, the problem with Pfizer, despite posting really, really good effective rate for their results, they have to keep their vaccines in negative 94 degrees Fahrenheit before it's used. Now, that could be a very big issue when transporting large amounts of these, because you have to keep it in these stored facilities so cold. You're going to need a big facility for that, so it's going to be harder to transfer out a bunch of them. Another thing, Pfizer vaccine also requires 2 shots to be given 3 weeks apart before significant protection kicks in. While most other vaccines in late stage also require multiple shots, Johnson & Johnson, who's another player in the game, obviously a huge pharmaceutical company as well, wants to enable one that only has 1 shot. So, it's very interesting to see which one's going to get it. Also, Johnson & Johnson has 60,000 participants in their trial, which is huge. I think that's the biggest one there is. But we're going to have to see what happens. Now, right now, Moderna is in the lead. But there's a pivotal thing coming out very soon where they're looking at the safety of each of these. So, Pfizer's is going to probably come first because they did announce theirs like a week and a half early before Moderna's. But don't count it out. And this is going to really decide what's going to happen. If you see that Pfizer's is super, super safe, I think it's going to fly. The stock will absolutely fly. Same as Moderna. Whatever one, I think right now the most important thing besides effectiveness is safety. We don't want anyone having side effects that they are not, side effects that aren't going to be good for them. And no one is going to actually take a vaccine if there's a big risk of these side effects. So what does this look like for each company? Now, Moderna obviously just put out some incredible numbers. 95% effective rate is just incredibly astonishing. And that really left Pfizer hurt, after only reporting 90%. I know it's only a 4.5% difference, but in this case, every percent matters. And the same thing is going to be said when we decide the safety of these two. So, a couple more things to look out for. If you want to look at how these ones compare, it's pretty interesting because they both do something kind of similar, but it's a little bit different in how they actually do it. And I feel like, I'm not a scientist by any means, but what a lot of actual scientists have been saying is mRNAs is a very, very powerful and effective type of treating, this disease, which obviously people really like, and they need this messenger RNA because of it. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with both of these. Moderna did get a ton of funding from the government. for their Operation Warp Speed program, which is basically how they're going to use the military to distribute all of these vaccines to everyone. But it's going to be a while before these come out, okay? And it's going to be a while before the general public gets it. Obviously, they're going to have to use, hundreds of millions of these shots that they don't have yet. No one has that yet. They only have a couple of them. So they're going to have to get all of these, and then they're going to have to distribute it to the people that need it first, the ones that need it the most, and then it's going to go out to the general public. And it might be, I've heard a couple estimates between like 8 and 15 months before it's available to, people like us who would have to go to like a CVS or a pharmacy to get these vaccines. So it's interesting how it's going to work. It's interesting who's going to be the biggest player, but we could potentially have multiple winners, okay? Now, the government has already struck an agreement with Pfizer worth almost $2 billion to purchase their supply and to help them with their supply. But the U.S. has also agreed to pay Moderna $1.5 billion to purchase theirs. So they're really working with both of them because, honestly, the government, the only thing they want to do right now is to get this out. And by whoever can do it is going to get paid for it big, and their company is going to thrive because of it. So it's interesting to see what's going to actually happen. But like I said, people are wondering, when are these going to be ready to deploy? Well, the results right now are preliminary, obviously. But, both companies are expected to seek emergency use of authorization from the FDA to review, how safe it actually is. And Moderna said it could seek clearance from regulators in the next coming weeks, where Pfizer expects 2 months for their safety follow-up data in the third week of November. So it's really, really going to come down to it, and it's going to be interesting to see. I think you can't go wrong with either one, to be honest right now. The only issue I'd see with buying Moderna right now is that it has had an insane run-up, and a lot of it's already baked in that they're going to be, the biggest and the best. So I'm not saying don't buy it, because obviously it could continue to go up, but, take with caution, buy with caution. Obviously don't go all in. Whereas Pfizer, at least if you do own Pfizer, it's a lot more safer of a company. It has a lot more drugs in their pipeline. It is consistently making profits every single quarter, which is huge, which is really big for, a company, and pays out a very nice dividend of about 4% as well. So if you want to play it a little more safe, I definitely recommend Pfizer. If you want to take this leap that potentially could strike big, Moderna. Obviously, Moderna has more upside being a much smaller company. And like I said, if we go ahead and look back at the market caps again, $39 billion versus $206 billion. So significantly smaller. And obviously, Moderna did have better results on their trials and doesn't need as many, complications such as keeping it in cold storage, 2 shots, etc., etc. But like I said, the biggest question is, how are we gonna bring all this out, and how are we gonna distribute it to all these people, and is there gonna be enough? So it's gonna be interesting to see, and it's obviously uncertain for how long it's actually gonna keep people immune, and how long it's gonna take for it to come out. It's all uncertain, and it's obviously all up in the air. But based on what I've concluded, I think that the best company to buy for just pure out vaccine, if you're going to go for the vaccine play, is going to be Moderna in this case. But I think an all-around better company is Pfizer. Pfizer, like I said, pays a nice dividend, has really taken a hit these past couple days, is sitting above $40, now it's $37, whereas Moderna has just absolutely flown from about $75 to, almost $100. That's a huge percent increase. So it's going to be interesting to see. I went ahead and sold a put on Pfizer. Nothing too big. Like it's a down day for us today overall because of Amazon and CVM. But we sold a Pfizer put in case it goes to 36.5. I'll buy it down there, and we got paid $39 for it. So I don't have a ton of buying power right now. All my money is basically tied up into Alibaba and Amazon. So that's all we're doing. But guys, these are 2 solid companies, okay? Moderna and Pfizer are 2 solid companies, and I like both of them, and I don't think you can go wrong buying either one. I would just say be a little bit more cautious buying Moderna because it has had an insane run up these past couple months, literally almost doubling from where it was in May, and obviously is just, exponentially exploded since February. So take it with caution, but, both of these companies are obviously doing very, very well. And they have some good upside to them as well. So, guys, hope you're having a great day. If you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. It means a lot. We're really trying to get our subscribers up there, guys, and it lets me know that you enjoyed the video. And helps me out a lot. So thank you guys so much for everything. I'll talk to you in the next video. Take it easy, guys. Bye.